And greetings to everyone out there listening or will listen later. Um, I'm speaking from Australia here in Sydney, and it is a pleasure. The fact before me that could not allow me to fully rest is say something about the truth. Try as much as possible. Don't say not to say your own, but to say what the truth wants to be said about it. And I truly look at my limitations. However, I felt that each time I share anything and I have the word by my side, before me, and in my heart, I feel more comfortable to share about the truth. So I don't want to go too far. I want to just share a screen with you, and then we'll proceed from there. And what is that truth? I mean, what is that word? It is actually from the book of Numbers, chapter 23, and then we'll have a look at it from there. And do feel free to, to see it with me. Feel free to read it with me. I might make some mistakes, but absolutely overlook the mistakes and concentrate on where I'm heading to. And where am I heading to? Probably where you are heading to as well, because our denominator is the truth. Titi, the Creator, the Almighty, or the Eternal One, decides to make the truth, Titi, its denominator in all actions, words, or forms of expression to its creation. I say a lie has given an 180-degree turn towards uh, towards towards the truth, Titi. That is, you now focus completely on the truth. You want to learn about the truth. You want to follow the truth. You want to understand the truth. You want the truth to be your pattern of life. And human beings can help, but the spirit in the truth itself is the best tool. Is the best tool. And therefore, the whole purpose of trying to share this is to make you and me be in the spirit of the truth always. Because without that spirit, we will not be able to abide in the truth. Have you gotten that point very well? So, what is a lie? I thought about it. I said a lie is any dilution or concentration of the truth. This is the truth, but sometimes we say it in a concentrated way. We increase the concentration of it by our own methods, thinking that that will make people to either fear or something like that, or out of ignorance we can concentrate the truth, which is not good. And then we can also dilute the truth in order for people to have followers, that kind of a thing like that. And a lie is an emphasis or underemphasis of TT. Yes, we take time to think about that one. Probably you can explain this better. And a lie is an exaggeration of TT in order to gain attention. We all have these common features, especially when we know how to talk, we know how to think, we know how to coordinate, we know what to. When we see people turning to us in their numbers, then we feel we know, we claim so many things like that. We need to be very, very careful. TT does not need the noise we all make to make it beautiful. Factually, most dances to the generated melodies of our musical instruments are never close to the truth. Get that right. Read it again. TT does not need any calisthenics from us to demonstrate its truth. I like that word calisthenics. You know, when we do a lot of acrobats, to think either because of the melody of the song or the melody of the instrument or whatever, or the kind of training we've received, we think that that also sends out the truth. It does not. That is not what we just become body movements. We become busy bodies, and that is just that, far away from the truth. We need to actually understand that way. That will go a long way. The truth is more than our knowledge abilities. It is more than our philosophical ideas. It is more than our wise ways. Yes, it does not need modernity to make it attractive or meaningful. I know that we live in a world that we describe as modern world. Gadgets are everywhere. Yes, we can generate human beings if we so wish, with their voices and so on and so forth, our own generations. We have gone far, far from the days of the Messiah when he was walking here on earth. The one that once said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, that walked here for 33 years, 40 days, or about that, and then left. We all know that this has all gone. In the days of the Messiah, there was nothing like AI and so on and so forth. We've moved on, and here we are today. Even then, the truth has not changed. The method of presenting it is still the same. If we modernize the method, it will modernize the truth. So we better know the truth in order to present it the way it ought to be presented. That is the way to keep it. And it is not meant to drive people, it is not meant to attract people. It is all made for people to get to know the truth, and the truth will set them free. How do you think about that? The truth is more, okay, TT is not a generational thing that requires modern tones and tunes to get it believed. Yes, our languages or other means of communication may keep evolving, but TT is the same yesterday, today, and forever. So what do I say? So when we polish TT for modern people to take or believe it, what we end up giving out is a polished truth or our truth at best. And this is what has engulfed so many ministries. No wonder. We've given ourselves tags. Apostle this, pastor this and that, overseer this, bishop this, while they look scriptural, the intended purpose of usage today has been defeated. It has been defeated. It's a place of honor. It's a place that I am holier than thou. People even fear you instead of coming to you. Sinners would want to crowd around the Messiah. In some cases, some, because of the crowd, they have to climb the tree, to see who this Messiah is. Our own is not like that. We seek the honor of people in the midst of our promotional whatever. Well, after we've promoted ourselves, then because we seek the honor of people who will return it. We do everything. In fact, we do everything to keep that. Let us watch out. And so when we present the truth to people in this kind of situation, what we end up giving to them are ourselves and not the truth. It is the polished truth. And therefore, people will always remain loyal to us and not loyal to the truth. And that is a very dangerous thing that we have generated. Another thing that I just want to say here is, which is very, very important, is what we end up here is that could this be that, what the missionaries actually did when they first arrived on our soils? Yeah, one may wonder what I mean this. The missionaries probably had good intentions. And if not because of their comments, some of us would have been nowhere. Definitely. I've seen this civilization that has been introduced even among my people, and that is great. But do you know what? All missionaries brought to Africa, particularly among my people, God. When they arrived, they told us that God had a son, or has a son, and that God gave that begotten son. That if we believe in that begotten son, we will not perish but have everlasting life. And that became the gospel of the day. So what would they do? What would they do with the gods of the land? The deity that is among the Moabite people. I don't want to call them gods, actually. The deities among the Mopon people. The deities among other tribal groups in Africa. What would they do with those deities? They rather told the people that those deities and the God that they have brought are the same and one. That was an extremely dangerous interpretation. I will tell you why. If I take Nan, for example, that is a deity among the Marvel people, you would hear originally the Marvel people can say Nan, referring to the deity as being female. And why? Because of the humane nature of this kind of deity. It waters the earth and it gives, well, whatever we plant, it will give it back to us in hundredfolds. And we were wondering, somebody must be responsible. So Nana, who is attached to Nan, became the most prominent deity in the land. And my people worshipped that. They worshipped it. And in worshiping this deity never for once told them that I have a son. I have a son, and that I have given you the son, or I will give you the son. None of such messages before. So now, you see, this is the sharp separation between the God of the whites and the deity that was in the land among the Marvel people. Subsequently, the son in the God of the whites died and resurrected. Because the Marvel people never had a son who grew up and finally died, what will happen to them? Yet that deity among the Marvel people gave them a definition. It gave them a language. It gave them an identity. They walked and walked among themselves. They conversed, they turned, and they hated evil even among themselves. Without the God of the whites, yes, there were clashes here and there, but then they were within the confines of the various deities, as could always happen. So, what will we say? If you now still think that the God of the whites and the deity that is of the Marvel people, have become one, then are we not in great error? And that was why when we started with Nan, finally Nan, and then Danan, the Danan came into existence in order to accommodate the God of the deity of the Marvel people. Danan came into existence in order to defend or to support the God of the white, who apparently is a male. So we need a male counterpart. But even then, Danan has never for once told its people that I have a son. So you can now say, this is what I mean, that did the missionaries make a mistake? Could they have just said, well, the deities that you people worship, they are not the same. The one that we have brought to you, you have to learn it. You have to drop Nan and pick up God. Then the moment you've dropped Nan and you pick up God, then the futures of God will now begin to be part and parcel of you. Today we are confused. And so we substitute God for Nan or Danan or whatever, and vice versa. Are we really in the right? That is exactly what I'm striving to understand, whether the missionaries actually did, what they did. Did they really present the gospel to us, despite what we have seen today? Did we really get it from the grassroots properly? From onset, did we get it correctly? That is what I'm asking. Furthermore, TT may never be found in our victories or failures. TT assures us at all stages of our abiding in it. Let me just brush this one a little bit. Sometimes we see it as our successes appear to be, we are in the truth. But I want us to check it. And sometimes our failures appear as if we are out of the truth. Let us also check it. None of these things are determinants of whether we are in the truth or not in the truth. I can give you an example. If we say Africa's richest person is the so-called person called Dangote, he does not believe in the truth that we have, based on what we see anyway. He does not believe in the truth. He believes in something else. Pick up people who have made it substantially in terms of wealth in the world. They don't really claim to follow the truth that we claim we have in. Think about the people who are intellectually strong. We may not look at them and majority of them and see they are and consider them as being in the truth that we have found. So what then do we do? However, the greatest mistakes that we commonly make is attributing our failures for not being in the truth as well. People in life, whether they are believers or they are not believers, whether they believed in the truth or they never believed in the truth, have failed in life woefully. I'll give the example of so many businesses that the owners had to try so many times before they succeeded, and they were not necessarily our believers. They were not believers. KFC is an example for us to just pick up, and so on like that. So if I want to I want to encourage us to understand that we don't use successes, victories, or whatever as a clue to, to tell us that we are in the truth. When we are in the truth, everything around us will help us to understand that we are in the truth, regardless of whether failures overwhelm us or successes and the joy thereof overwhelm us. We'll always know that we're in the truth. So I want us to think about this one. If we so wish, unfortunately, our emotions never allow us to find out the way and life that is in the truth, TT, as against our truth. And do you know what? Sometimes to take somebody out of the truth that he has created around himself is very, very difficult because the person is enveloped in his own emotions and he thinks that he is in the truth and she thinks that she is in the truth. Let us take time to think about that, analyze it properly. Therefore, the emphasis is on Numbers chapter 23, verse 19. What I've been talking is a form of preamble for me to appreciate the truth and possibly for you to appreciate the truth. The eternal one is not a man in verse 19. The eternal one does not lie. The eternal one isn't the son of a man to want to take back what it has said or say something and not follow through. The eternal one speak and not speak. Speak and act on it, or will not speak and will not. Will speak and will not act on it. It's true. That is my own paraphrasing of understanding the verse, and I agree that it is correct. The eternal one is not a man. It means lies are with men. The abundance of it is with men. Every single one of us abide in lies. And so until we start taking the eternal one to be someone to us before we can come out from where we are. What do you think? Now let's go further a little bit. I decided to just put the 23 here. And it is a conversation between three people. Balaam, the prophet, Balak, the king of Moab, and the eternal one. And I want to see how Balaam, the prophet, would want to bend the eternal one to his own whims, to his own desires, to his own greed. And even though he held the banner of a relationship with the Almighty, frankly, it is within the confines of greed. And that is exactly what most of us are. We hold the banner of greed, but we embellish it so well with religious effects, with the appearance of the knowledge of the true Almighty. And of course, some people are carried away by it. So let us see. Balaam to Balak. This is what I need from you. Build 7 altars here, and then get 7 bulls and 7 rams ready to sacrifice. For every single sacrifice, there must be an altar. There must be a bull. There must be a ram. So you can just imagine what it is. So this is what was demanded. And Balak was keen on causing the children of Israel, whom the Almighty, the Eternal One, has blessed. So let us see how it is. And what was the role of Balaam in playing this game? That even when the Almighty kept telling this man, don't do it like this man could not give up. Balak did just as Balaam had asked him to do. Then together they offered a bull and a ram on each of the 7 altars. Balaam to Balaam, you stay here, close to these burnt offerings. I'm going to go a little further. In case the Eternal One wants to meet just with me, whatever the Eternal One lets me know, I will be sure to pass on to you. So Balaam went over to an exposed area on the heights, and the Eternal One met Balaam there. Balaam to the Eternal One, I made 7 altars and set an offering of a bull and a ram on each one. Do you see? It's true that the 7 altars, the 7 bulls, and the 7 rams were at the instance of Balaam's instruction. But he refused to say. Balak contributed the rams. Balak contributed the bulls. Balak made sure the stones were gathered for the altars to be built. He refused to say this. What an irony of life when we are blinded. How honest is Balaam in this context? Well, take your time to think the way you want to think. But I just want us to understand something. We are naked before the Almighty. Call the person anything, but we are naked before our Creator. And we should be plain enough. So despite it, what did the Eternal One do? But let me not forget one thing. The sacrifices of the wicked is an abomination or are abominations to the Almighty. Maybe that was what Balaam was trying to cover. He presented himself as if, but the whole items were brought by Balak. Maybe we can pick up something from there. This is the response of the Eternal One to Balaam. Okay, to say, go back to Balak and recite what I have told you. So Balaam walked back down and over to where Balak stood, waiting next to the burnt offerings, along with officials of Moab. Balaam recited his words. Balaam, the king of Moab got me to come here, all the way from my home in Aram. Balak summoned me from the eastern mountains. Come, curse Jacob for me. Come, denounce Israel. But I ask you, how can I curse any whom the Eternal One has not cursed, or denounce whom the Eternal One has not denounced? Here on the heights, from the rocky places where I stand, I can see them. From these hills, I observe them below. And what do I see? But a unique and solitary people who do not have a place among the nations. Who can and what who do not have a place among the nations? Who can count the dust of Jacob, or even a fourth of their number? It is impossible to count even 1/4 of Israel. Let me die as one who has done what is right. let my end be like this. Do you see the blessings on Israel placed pressure on Balaam? And Balaam was saying, if this is what it is, I want to die like this. But it was only from the mouth and it was not from the heart. How will we know? We can see his determination in next moving. Now Balak to Balaam, what are you doing to me? I brought you all the way out here to cause these people, my enemies. Yet, what you have done, you've blessed them. Balaam, but don't you agree that I have to be very careful to make sure I say only and exactly what the Eternal One has given me to say? Well, Balak said, come over here. Admittedly, from the place where I am bringing you, you can only see a small part of that whole congregation. But I am commanding you from this new place, cause them. So Balak brought Balaam to the fields of Zophim on the top of Pisgah's peak. As before, he built there 7 altars on which he sacrificed 7 bulls and 7 rams. Oh my good God. I don't know how to think about this. Balaam has become vulnerable, gullibly to his desires. He can't think anything again. He is a toy to the whims of the world around him. Greed has overcome him, and therefore he had to follow Balak to the side that Balak chose. Look at the state of the church that we are in, the so-called ministries that we have today around us. We have drifted so much from what the truth is into something else. Remember, we can overemphasize the truth, we can underemphasize the truth, we can exaggerate the truth, we can also dilute the truth, we can concentrate the truth. All these things are passages of lies against the truth. And as already pointed out, there's no modernization of the truth in order to catch up with the young generation that will make sense. No, the truth is the same yesterday, today, and forever. So we can do nothing to change anything. Let's know the truth and present it the way it is. But what are we learning from Balaam? What are we learning from Balak? While the relationship between Balak and Balaam remained firm because the intention was clear. Cause these people for me. Well, you saw them from that angle. I'll give you another place to see them. You will see few of them. Start with the few and cause them. We are like that. And therefore, the truth is not with us. So let us go on back to see what was happening. And so Balaam, now he said to Balaam, okay, you stand here by the altars and their burnt offerings, while I go just over there to talk with the Eternal One. And once again, the Eternal One met Balaam and gave him the words to say. Eternal One, go back to Balak and recite what I have told you. So Balaam returned to where Balak stood waiting next to the burnt offerings along with the Moabite officials. Balak said this to Balaam. What did the Eternal One say? Balaam recited his words. And this is what Balaam said. Balaam, listen, oh Balak, and attend to these words. Hear, son of Zippor, what the Eternal One has to say to you. The Eternal One is not a man. I've read this. The Eternal One does not lie. The Eternal One isn't the son of a man to want to take back what it has said. The Eternal One or says something and not follow through, or speak and not act on. What a beautiful message. Well, I appreciate one thing in Balaam, not to give up. Above it, I appreciate what the Almighty has taken time to be patient with Balaam until the word is spoken unto him. What can we learn? I am blessed with this. The nature of or the personality of the Almighty is strange. Probably if I'm the one, I would strike Balaam one go and he's gone. But that is not the case. He gave him room and gave greater room to accept Balaam. Today, I can quote 19 properly. I can say the Eternal One is not a man that it can lie. No, I can lie. In fact, I've lied in so many areas to my wife, to my children, to my friends, to my neighbors, to sometimes I even dress as a liar while things are happening terribly in my heart. I look fine. I dress so well, well to be admired by those who don't know what was happening in my heart. What a deep challenge to me. So, man is on the platform of lying. Every human being you see on earth is wallows in lies. It takes the strength, the mercies, the enablement of the truth to bring man out of that. No wonder can we think of it this way that many have been exposed to the truth, but only few have found it. I want you who is listening to be part of this, to be one of them, just as I know you want me to be one of them. So that when we are in it, we will not be saying you want, but we are already in it. That is also part of my message, part of my desire. So now let us look at verse 20. Look here. I received a word of blessing, and the Eternal One has spoken a blessing. I cannot take it back. There is no vision of wrongdoing by Jacob. The Eternal One has seen no trouble for Israel. The Eternal One abides among them, and the shout of a king is among them. Let me say something just up on the phrase that the Eternal One abides among them. Well, we can't forget about Israel and all their disbelieving attitude in the wilderness. We can't. And even when the rock was producing water, it didn't stop them from complaining. And even when the rains were raining, the heavens were raining manna for them, they complained, they grumbled. All their ways are filled up with murmurings and all kinds of things. But I don't understand why the Eternal One will abide in them, will still remain in them. Okay, while that one is probably something to talk about later. But then the key thing that I want us to understand is the Eternal One does not give up. If the Eternal One has promised us something, the Eternal One will bring it to pass. And how faithful the Eternal One is that when we remain faithful, the quicker the execution for us. So I believe. So this is just one part of it. So if we look at verse 22, for instance, the Eternal One who leads them out of Egypt, whose splendor is like the wild bull, There is no divination against Jacob or enchantment against Israel. Soon, people will say of Jacob and Israel, look at what the Eternal One has accomplished. Look at these people rise up like a lion who gets up and does not lie down until it devours its prey, even drinking the blood of the slain. Well, this is something else. While it might depict their victories, but there are things that I would like to pick up from this conversation. The Eternal One has blessed them. The Eternal One has blessed them. I like that. Those who are in the truth are blessed. If the people who are in the gleams of the truth can be so blessed, how much more of the people who abide in the truth? So maybe we can think that way. Let's see the concluding part of what happened. So Balak to Balaam, don't curse them, but don't bless them either. Haven't you been listening? Balaam responded, whatever the Eternal One tells me, I must do. Balaam, I think we should try a different spot. Come on, and maybe the Eternal One will be happy or pleased to let you curse them for me from over there. So off they went again. This time, Balak took the prophet to the top of Peor, from where they could look down over the whole broad spread of Jeshimon, which some call simply the wasteland. Balaam said this to Balak, you know what to do. Get the 7 altars ready and burn the offerings just as you did before. And so Balak did. He built 7 altars. Who built it? Balak built. And on each of which were sacrificed a bull and a ram. You see, we don't need to thank Balaam. We can only see the proportion of greed in this man, the proportion of pride in this man, gains. Otherwise, he wouldn't even be conversing with Balak at all. So, what am I trying to tell us in this chapter? Not enough, really, because you have the opportunity to go and read. But what I want to challenge us to think about is we have Balak spirits and Balaam spirits in among us, in our midst. I mean to say rather, we have these spirits really working. They come together, they separate, they come together all to reinforce each other, giving new ideas. What if we do it like this? What if we think this way? What if we act this way? And the spirit of Balaam that appears to carry the light, that appears to bear the light, will always come to the ideas of Balak that is not seeking anything outside causing the children of Israel. The advice of don't curse them and don't bless them came from Balak. Now I found out that if I take you here, you bless them. If I take you here, you bless them. What if you don't bless them? What if you don't curse them? Will there be any difference? What will happen? There is a lesson there also for us to think about. However, choose to remain in the blessings of the Almighty. Choose to remain under the shadows of the Almighty. There you will be protected. Remember, it is only those who abide in the truth that dwell properly. But for us to abide in the truth, we must have believed in the truth. Yes, is it different from salvation? I'm not preaching another salvation. No. The truth, our salvation is under the denominator, is the numerator. And the salvation thing stands on the truth. If you remove truth from it, everything about our salvation collapses. So we need to really understand the truth. We need to be in deep, deep connection with the truth. In fact, the truth, we need to abide in the truth. Then all the other numerator things will appear to will become meaningful to us. Minus it, not we can do nothing. Therefore, take my word. Lies everywhere. There's only one thing that defines our Creator, and the Creator has decided to make that as the denominator of its operation, whether in the rains or in the flows or in everything that we see, whether the sun is shining or the place is cold or it is hot, or even when people are massacring us as it is occurring in most parts of the world, the truth is still there. And sad to say, anybody who injures another person is a clear revelation that the person has chosen to be in the untruth. So we are blessed to come to these terms. But what happens is where we go next is vital. So before I round it up, my dear, I want to place it as a challenge. Read Numbers chapter 23 again. Ponder on it. See what you can gain from it. And know that what you see embedded in, clearly classified in Numbers chapter 23 is the overt thing that we see in all the ministries and churches and denominations and whatnot and whatnot. I don't want to think of other religions that are in the world, such as Islam, Buddhism, and Hinduism. I don't want to bother myself with all those things. The people who are close to the light are people that have this that should have this the understanding of Numbers chapter 23 Numbers chapter 23 from verse 1 to the end. I can't go and tell the Muslims, have you read Numbers chapter 23, or the Hindus or the Buddhists or any other person? No, we have this book, but we don't understand it. And if we manage to understand it, it is too superficial to apply. I want to challenge us again. Minus the truth that forms a denominator of of the eternal one's operation. We are nowhere. Minus the truth, salvation is fake. All that we preach, minus the truth. Genesis is rubbish. Minus the truth. Exodus is rubbish. Minus the truth. John chapter 3 verse 16 is rubbish. Minus the truth. There's nothing that is good in the scriptures, nothing attractive in it. In the entire scriptures, nothing is attractive in it. So let us go on for the truth. Let us cry out for the truth. Let us seek the truth. Let us desire the truth. And let us grow in the truth. Then the truth will help us continuously to know who we are, and then we'll become more humble. I therefore stop here, and I ask that you will continue to be blessed and share this screen with anybody. It's a little bit lengthy, quite okay, but I feel I should take some time like this to share with you my thoughts on Numbers chapter 23. It is not out of place. Go and read it again. And please feel free to contact me. My contacts are all there with you. Feel free to contact me. Ask me questions. If I don't know, we'll always find a way to understand it. And definitely when it comes to the truth, we can only encourage one another. The best teacher about the truth is the spirit of the truth itself. So I am provoking you and I'm provoking myself to be continuously or choose to be currently in the spirit of the truth. Remain blessed and bye.